Okay, we're going to round this final turn with somebody that I know both of us just absolutely adore the ground she walks on. So we just interviewed the first Cardian. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second Cardian ever. And she continues to be a pulse of Card, even now that she's like home base that everybody
That's
comes back to at some point or other. She is such a delight, so wonderful. Before we bring her in, what would you like to say about
and
the fabulous Nilu?
Nilu. Oh my gosh. Of course, there, Nilu, I officially say Nilu is my sister, right? She is the sister I never had, and she is one of my closest friends as well. So, and we are very, very fortunate that no matter what period of time goes by, because we're both living busy lives, we always get together, and it's like not even a day has gone by. Okay. So, and Nilu is the person I always, in my story, when I say my story, I always remember incredible days when she and I used to, she was a student at UCLA, and she had actually contacted me through someone else that I knew. And I had said, listen, if you take these courses, which were the Lovas courses, then I will hire you as a therapist. And I did. And when she started to come work for me, she very quickly realized that I need help, and I was like there at 6 a.m. and there until 9 o'clock at night by myself doing everything. And she said, listen, why don't I just come in like 10 hours a week? You can afford this, and I'll help you. And I was like, okay, sure. So she started coming in and took over all the billing, and so she and I are sitting in the office and we're working on billing together, and we're sitting on the floor having lunch. And she says to me, we have, and in a moment our audience will see the enthusiasm that is Nilu. By definition, it's such a gift. And it's such a gift, Shannon, also because like that joy and energy of Nilu is part of the reason we all kept coming to work, because it was you get spoiled having such a positive energy person in your life. It's incredible. And she said, we've 25 kids. How many kids do you think we will have? And I was the only supervisor at CARD, obviously, and it hadn't occurred to me that I can train other supervisors. So I said, Neil, I don't think we can ever go over 40. Like, I'm so tired of, 40 is probably my max. And of course, today CARD has, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000 patients because we just expanded the model. But Nilu is my sister. It's been just such a joy for me to have her in my life in so many ways. Let's bring her on, Shannon.
Yes, let's welcome Nilu. I miss you so much.
Hello. Hi. You already have me in tears. So love you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, all my mascara and everything that I put up. So I love you guys. Hello. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Shannon, Doreen, it's so good to see you both. And I hope I'm worthy of everything that you said.
Of course. Shannon, do you know what Nilu is so funny, because she's probably the only person who she accomplished a lot when she was doing clinical work. Like, there are families. It's really funny, Neil. I don't know if I've told you, but sometimes when I go to Florida or Georgia, people will say to me, oh yeah, we started, and they go all the way back to when you used to travel to Georgia, and I didn't even remember that you used to travel to Georgia, and there were families that you recovered in Georgia, which is incredible.
I know. Albany, Georgia, I used to go. Exactly. It was incredible. I loved those days. That's when I was doing workshops, remember? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I have actually had I have couple of kids that I know. To those days, it's like it's been everything, every part of it, every aspect of it has been just such an absolute blessing. such an honor to be a part of. What a journey. What a journey. Seriously.
What a journey it's been. I know, it's crazy. And the funny thing is we look back and we're like, how could that have been 30 years ago? Because honestly, it feels like yesterday, you know?
Exactly. It's like
It's
it was our
amazing.
youth, but to us, I'm like all these years, and it's like it was everything. It's as if it was yesterday. All the joy, all the every emotion that
Yeah.
we ever felt, it's so live in my heart that I'm like, how could it be so long ago? Because I still feel it with as much intensity as I ever felt it back then.
Absolutely.
I was going back to like our Christmas parties. Do you remember
Oh my
where we would have everything? We would have so much fun having everybody and then just kind of reflecting back on the year. And it's I don't know, it's like it's so much joy that I honestly, whenever I think about it, I get so emotional, I start crying,
You're so lucky.
from
You
our
truly
days,
are
our
lucky.
days
Yeah.
in your office, everybody, Shannon, everybody would just gather around Doreen as soon as she would come in with all of our problems and issues, whether clinical or administrative or anything. And we would all like, if she would be like sitting there with like a circle around her and everything, discussing everything, just finding solutions to our, as Doreen said, our 25, 30 clients. And to us, that was so huge. And I would be like, Doreen, do you ever think we would get to 100? She would be like, no, Neil, no, it's impossible. And I would be like, yeah, no, there is no way. There is no way. The two of us would be like, no. And look now.
And it's so much fun. It's been such an incredible journey. And Neil, of course, Nilu is also responsible for having hired most of the people that we've spoken to on these shows, right? She hired them.
You had such good taste, Nilu.
And they will say that too. I mean, it's like, when I have parties and everybody gets to spend time with Nilu, they're all like, oh, I missed you so much. And of course, now she is the person that gets on the phone and helps families figure out their financial status, right? Which is another whole way of blessing people, I think. And it's such an important job. It is truly God's work. It is. And I just want to thank you, Neil. You know how much I love you and how grateful I am to have you in my life. And we are so happy that we had this opportunity during April to bring you on and tell you thank you. You helped change lots and lots and lots of lives.
Oh my goodness, the honor is all mine. I am grateful to you. I always tell her, Shannon, I don't know what I did to deserve her in my life, but I am so grateful every single day that our paths cross. And she's part of my life, and Cart is part of my life. And I mean, sorry, I get emotional talking about it, but it's just wonderful. I was blessed that it happened, that I called her one day and I said, what can I do with a psychology bachelor? And she's like, well, you can take classes, as she said. And I did. That's one thing I followed through, Doreen.
Yeah, that's so great.
That I did, thank goodness. And again, honestly, it was all God. I sometimes talk to God and I'm like, it was all you. And then I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for everything, for having you in my life, for having Card in my life, for having all these wonderful families in our lives. Everything has just been one enormous blessing that words would not, I can't find words to express how grateful I am and for my gratitude, seriously.
And I just want to squeeze in here. I just want to squeeze in for 1 second and say that, for me, my experience of working at corporate headquarters, so much of what is good and is the best, it has Nilu at the top of the list. Because I'm just going to say it was personally really hard for me when we moved to the office building that we're at, because there's an elevator. I had sworn that I was never going to take an elevator above 5 floors, and suddenly, Dr. Granpeesheh says, oh, we're going to work on the 18th floor. And I was like, nice knowing you. So I've had to build in all these little reinforcers, but my through line for all of that is that you know how some people get synchronized with other people. I thank God that my bladder is synchronized with Nilou's. Sorry for putting out there too much information, but we work on separate areas, and I wouldn't get to see her except that for some reason, almost every day, I'm in the female washroom with Nilou, and that little interaction reminds me that Nilou is taking care of business on a level that I can't. And
Yeah.
and by the way, whenever, just the other day, I'm going to tell on you, Nilou, that, you know, a dad wrote a letter and it was like, oh my gosh, there's an issue. And I felt really bad that there was an issue, but I knew for sure that it was going to get taken care of because I knew I was forwarding it to Nilou. And and to see how quickly she took something that this dad was like, what are we going to do? And she made it better and not only fixed it, but made it better. So I know that dad knows he's in the right place. She's just a force to be reckoned with. And I'm so grateful, Nilou, for you in my life. And I want you to know that every interaction I have with you, you just prove that you are amazing. And it just gives me so much faith and hope.
That's right. We love you.
Oh my God, I love you guys. I love you. And thank you again. I hope to God I'm worthy of this.
You are.
You know, thank you. I so appreciate it. I do my best. And all the parents that I speak to, I feel like it's a blessing that they're in our lives, and hopefully it would be a blessing for them that, you know, and it is that we're in their lives, but the problems that come up, if I can solve it for them, it's absolutely my pleasure and my honor, honestly. And this dad, Shannon, I loved him. I called him and I'm like, hi. And he's like, hi. I'm like, how are you? And he goes, well, depends on what you're going to tell me. And I'm like, oh, please be well. And I told him what the resolution was. And he's like, okay, I'm perfectly fine now. And I'm like,
oh, that's good.
Amazing. And that's just one of hundreds of stories that I have like that. But that was just the other day. But we're way past out of time. Traven's going to get the hook. But Nilou, we love you.
I'm so fast. I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It's such a pleasure.
It was an honor, and thank you. It's so good to see you both.
Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.